welcome back. It's time. Praise to Jesus. We're finally going to get the coffee bar started to put together today. Well, I'm not going to push anybody to rush to do anything, but here's a little bit of what's going to happen. See, I'll be off to the side here. So this cabinet I had existing, I got it from Through the Country Door in 2006. I had it at the apartment at the group home. Actually, it might have been 2007, but that's regardless. What I have on top right now, and I'll show you up close in a little bit, is a shelf that I ended up finding at Walmart.com. It was the only place that I could find a shelf that I can afford, that was going to be easy to do for us, for you guys to see. Thank you. So what it is it's an MDF board, and it actually looks like LDF, to be honest with you, but if you don't know what the difference is, it's the density of the fiberboard, how compact the cells are in there. But that is MDF, and it actually looks like twice as thick as it really is, because they gave us this shorter, it's the same length, but it's not quite as deep of just a piece of MDF. I think they used it to pack all of the materials in, and we're actually going to take advantage of it and double thickness our shelf in the front and around the sides. So I'll show you up closer when we get there. What we have to do first is clear out all the area. We have some stuff that I hauled recently, but most of it's stuff that is going to be in or around the coffee bar. If you watched my vlog, then you know that I'm like in design overload, like to the point where I was actually going to make this entire length of cabinets the coffee bar, because it was just too much design. So anyway, we're going to get started. First, we're going to clean up the space. We're just going to organize, like, if it's going to go back here or if it's going to get put away or whatever. And then we'll get crack-a-lackin', so join us.
So I just wanted to show you, and I did put it in my review, that the box on this was cracked, which I really didn't think about the box being cracked like it is. And this is a piece of fiberboard, so of course I should have been concerned that the box was cracked. Silly Jerry, tricks are for kids. So of course when we opened it, there was a crack on one side of this material, but I will tell you, it wasn't on the other side. And we knew we were going to make that a double layer so that that could be the underside and it would be protected and it wouldn't be a huge deal.
Well, how much of this do you want me to do with you?
Well, you're the one who has to decide where it's going, because I don't know where it all goes. As far as I'm concerned, the whole...
Right. How much am I helping you? Am I coming in there and doing it, or am I just sitting here and being the referee?
You're doing the referee as usual,
okay,
because I'm
Oh, give me the box that says crap to shred.
That is too funny. I had to leave that in for you guys because I do get a lot of feedback about like how Jim does all of the physical work and I just sit there and, you know, basically from the horse's mouth. I usually don't leave that information in there, but when I help him like I'm doing right now, he senses to me that I'm in his way. I get out of his space kind of thing. So anyhow, hi everybody. I am elated that this project is complete, but we have to go back and show you how we did it. We have many steps to these videos coming, which is good. I want to teach you guys in detail, as I always do. If you're new to my channel, or if you've only subscribed because you saw a couple of cute videos, I spent many years as a teacher, and I really am the kind of person who likes to break it down for you. To teach people who don't have much of an idea of how to do stuff. Basics, all of it from the beginning to the end, okay? So if that's not for you, then you can either fast forward, or you can jump to the end, or you can, watch someone else's video if they have like a quicker detail. But what we're going to do on this project and on this video and tomorrow, is we're going to install this countertop. So as I mentioned, I got these boards from Walmart.com. I was expecting just the top one, but delightfully so, we got the bottom one as well. I opted not to glue them together. That was just my choice. I said to Jimmy, if we attach them just with the trim, and if we ever need to separate them for any reason, then we could. We only put 2 holes in the underside of the top counter, which was cracked already, as you saw. And we didn't put any holes in the bottom piece, so we could always use it again if for some reason we want to turn this back into a cabinet. Now, I'm having Jim take everything down from above. I just figured it would be so much easier to get in there and clean from the ceiling to the floor. That is the new Swiffer Reach. I saw it on Do It on a Dime, and we went and got one because, as my father used to say, I'm vertically challenged. Stop standing in a hole. So I knew it was going to be perfect for me for dusting. And the thing I like about it the most is I can also use it on the floor. I don't have a regular Swiffer. I use a broom, but there are times where it would be nice to just have something that you can run along the floor, and that is absolutely kind of perfect for it. Okay? So the next thing, we're just making room for everything. We're getting set up for this project. I'm going to teach you guys in a minute or so how to use a miter box. I know we have used miter boxes on the channel before, and I did break it down for you a little bit in those videos, but I'm just going to give you a little bit more insight, especially for doing this project with trim of 90 degrees. When we used the miter box and the jigsaw last time, we really didn't do much fancy angle work. Okay? So I'm going to definitely show you that in this video. Now, just a reminder, I got these boards for $1.08. I keep saying $1.50 because that's, I don't know, my brain was just like, it was less than $1.50. $1.08 from Lowe's. Like I said, they're called furring strips, 1x2 furring strips, okay? And Lowe's was even like, they put them in the back of your car, so that was pretty cool. What we're doing is cutting a 45-degree angle. If you look at this piece of wood, it is rounded on the top corners. Oh, can't look at that piece of wood with a sticker there. It is rounded on this top edge and square on this bottom edge. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the square side up towards the counter, okay? And then the round side is going to be the lip that goes down. So for this piece, what are you doing? Oh, I'm getting your wood glue. So for this project, I'm going to be cutting a 45-degree angle from the top down, because imagine we want it to wrap around the cabinet, right? So one of the ends is going to be flat and flush, and then we're going to go ahead and cut a 45-degree angle this way. Here's a miter box. One leg on that sits on the table is longer because it's supposed to hook to the end of the table. So what we're going to do is we're going to, you put the miter box up against the table like this. You find your mark. And what you want to do is you want the 18 inches to be the inside of the 45-degree angle. And all of these are marked. And hopefully I'll remember to take a picture. So as you can see, it goes from 45 all the way to 0 and then back to 45. So I'm trying to put my mark so it's right inside the 45-degree angle. So we start the 45-degree angle on that mark, because it's actually going to be 18 inches on the inside and 18 inches plus 45-degree angle of on the outside. So, thank you. This is a miter saw. It specifically goes with this, well, not this miter box. Actually, are they the same company? No, they're different companies. What it is it has a guide on the top. Do you see that? And it's a saw that cuts backwards. So it's called a back saw, which basically cuts on the back stroke, not on the forward stroke, okay? Getting it started is always the tough part. So if you don't have a surface to put you can buy the bolts that actually go through those holes and hold the work. But if you can't, the cheat is to get one of these rubber mats that they sell at the Dollar Tree, the non-skid mats, and just put it right under there, and that will totally help. Now I can hear my father's voice in my head saying, cut on the backstroke. Cut on the backstroke. I will tell you that if you're the kind of person who pushes the saw, you can see the struggles that I'm having. but I sometimes just can't get it out of my head. So this is one of those teachable moments. Do as I say, not as I do.
That's what I thought you meant. Okay. But you're lifting it up. I mean, you're pushing it down. I need you to like lift it up. It needs to be off the table as much as the miter box. There you go. There we go. Or else it's going to cut at a wrong angle.
Yeah.
Instead of a right angle. But I'm
So sorry for the corny joke, but this is actually one of these projects that I'm actually teaching Jim as well as I'm teaching you. So forgive me when I talk to him, you know, like he doesn't know what he's talking about because there's a lot of this he doesn't know. I showed you if you put the board, you can put the material that you're cutting on the far side or the near side. I don't want to say it's a matter of preference, but I kind of feel like sometimes it works better on the opposite side. So just test out both ways to see if it works for you. As long as you keep that angle and you keep the saw in there when you move it back and forth, then you won't mess up your cut. And that's all you need to have to worry about, okay? Now adjust yourself instead of the material. This particular saw is not made for this miter box and doesn't cut through, so I have to turn it over to complete it.
Oh, look at that. Like a machine did it. Okay.
Almost.
So, let's give you an idea of what's going on here. Okay. So now I have this piece. We want the top to be flush with the top of the cabinet. We want this corner to be flush with the corner. And we're not tacking it down yet because we want to make sure we get both. We might have, sometimes with corners, you have to pull them out a little bit. Sometimes with corners, you have to pull them out a tiny bit to get around and then just fill it in. So before we attach anything, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut the long piece across the front. Now, can you get that long piece? So I had Jimmy turn it over to show you. Hold on. No, don't do that. To show you that this side is already cut. So that angle already works in that corner. So what we're going to do is you're going to line that corner up perfectly with a tiny bit of overhang or no overhang at all.
Yeah, it's got a little overhang.
Like how little?
Barely get my fingertip in there.
No, I don't. Okay. Here, come around over to the end for real quick. That's the most.
Okay. That would be like go.
Yep.
That would be right about there.
Okay. So then what we can do is now we can actually take this board and we can mark on there exactly where we need this to be. Okay, now, here's what I need you to do.
If I can.
I'm going to need you to either use pen with your left hand or hold really tight with your left hand. Hold on, just make sure we're marked right. Okay, you're just going to run along that 45-degree angle.
Okay.
Now I'm going to take this, and to be safe, I'm going to add a little extra because we can always sand it down.
You can always take away when it comes to sawing and sanding, but you can never add it back. I mean, they do have wood filler and wood chip and stuff like that, but you can't really use that. Don't use that. That's not good. Okay, so anyway, now we're cutting the opposite angle. But the great part, I was telling Jim, and I was trying to show you guys there, the great part about this particular material is when you make the first cut, you've automatically made your third cut. So it does make it a little bit easier, okay? And the same thing goes with your next cut. So when we cut this piece, the remainder will actually be our third cut. Will be the beginning of the board that's going to be on the third side. So that's one of the great things about using a miter box for these types of angles or doing these types of projects. Okay?
Okay, now I gotta... Ooh.
Or not, because of that knot right there. We'll just have to file that little burr down and
That'll
make
be
sure
underneath, so I'm not worried about it. Yeah.
as long as nobody's getting their fingers caught by it.
What are we talking about?
Look at that burr that's sticking out right
This?
there.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely cut that off. Here, I snapped it off. We'll definitely have to sand that. It snapped, so you guys could see what happened before I could cut through the other side. Just because we're right by a knot is really probably the reason. What?
That little knot that's sticking out, that little chunk of wood.
Oh yeah, that's gotta come off.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to use a pair of pliers or something.
Oh no.
Pop that out.
You have good gloves on?
Yeah.
Hold that. I won't cut you. Not so close. Underneath.
Well.
Just at the very end. Yeah. There you go.
Give me an extra day or so to take off work, that's all. Can't come to work and cut my finger on a saw.
Here, you can do this side.
How'd you do that?
I got it on film. What are you doing?
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
You said
you
hold
remember
it.
2 seconds ago we were just like over here. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry. All I said was let's turn it over and do the other side. Okay, that's good. We got it. Okay. So now come back to the table. We can show everybody what we're doing and what we're up to.
Yeah. We have to just realign everything.
Yep. Always. Without clamps and without gluing it.
Yeah. Glue it and let it sit for what, 24 hours, 12 hours?
More than that, yeah, but yeah, something like that.
I'm
Yeah.
asking because
Yeah. So
this is not my forte.
we will have to take sandpaper.
Ooh.
Try not to pull the wood out of my
I'm
hand.
so sorry.
We will
I
have to
do
try
not
to take
mean-
sandpaper to this because they probably won't connect right now, but we'll just get a guesstimation of a dry fit. Yeah, we have to get sandpaper. But you guys can get an idea how we just made that really nice corner. See that really nice corner we just made? And now we're just gonna do the same exact thing we did for the other side. We're gonna just take this piece and we're gonna notch that like that, and then we'll cut the length, okay? It should really just be 18 inches from here to a square cut. But we're gonna dry fit it.
Oh, we're gonna dry fit it? Okay.
Yeah, well we could, but we couldn't because we would have to, I guess we would have to like match the square ends because it's actually opposite angles.
Oh, okay.
But if we match the square ends, that would actually work.
Yeah, because...
But we can just dry fit it right now.
Yeah.
Put
I'm
your-
just trying to think of like...
Put your
various
board on the front and line up your front.
alternative.
No, these two, that's your side. Let me just turn this so everybody can see what you're doing.
Yeah, we're gonna have to sand something down.
Why?
There's a little gap when they're down here to sand in between the two boards, that's all.
But on the end towards the
Towards the inside, like...
towards the table?
Yeah.
Where we have to sand?
Yeah.
Do you see that burr there? How's the burr on that side?
Actually, a little bit of a burr down
Yeah, that's what's keeping them apart.
here. Okay.
So as long as you can compensate for that, we look like we're okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that you have that lined up, let me give you your pen. You don't have to hold it so precise like you did before. Wait. And now you're right. Yeah, then use your body. Do you see how bad of an angle that is that you're doing though? Because you have it up in the air.
No, I can't because factor...
All right, well, no, I don't mean that. I'm sorry. Stop. See how you have it up in the air? Right. There you go. It needs to be level, and then you can mark it square. Otherwise, it's going to mark it an angle. Okay? Now we can check it and see how good we were.
Darker of the lines.
What?
So the darker of the lines of my lines is... You're right.
Okay. Let's see how close we were. Okay, so we were off not quite a bit, a little bit. Look, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll go on this side. We'll cut this side of the line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just give ourselves more room. Okay, and this should be our last cut for this project. But we are going to go ahead and we're going to cut the coffee mug holders today since we have everything out for cutting.
We could probably do that. I just might not need a little bit of a break to sit down.
Sit down,
because-
no.
Are you gonna need my help with that,
No,
aren't you?
no, not this little tiny
Okay.
board, no.
Okay.
Thank you. And this is just a square cut, so this will be really easy actually. I can cut it standing up like I did the other two pieces, but because I don't need an angle, I can also cut it like this. But I also want to show you that there's a 45-degree angle right here on the miter box. So I could have technically laid all those pieces down and cut them this way, but I find it much easier to just do it standing up. Standing up. Not me, but the boards.
So Jim made a point of why we couldn't cut the first side to equal the third side or the other side. And we really could have, except we're not perfect. So that the boards might not be perfect, the length might not be perfect. The 16-inch little gap that we had, you guys don't even know yet, but we pushed the shelf out a little bit when we go to screw it. If we didn't have a little extra, then we probably would be in a big pickle. So you definitely want to be able to cut it a little extra. It's better to cut it over than to cut it under. Okie dokie. Okay, so that's the scrap left over. And now we're going to get the sandpaper. I'm going to clean off all of these little burrs and stuff. So that all is going to be left for tomorrow. Today, all we're going to do is we're going to finish installing the countertop. So here's what we decided to do. Because the bottom free shelf, and that's what I'm going to refer to it as, the bottom freeboard is not as deep, because Jim's standing at the front. It's not as deep as the top piece. We decided to go ahead and match that up with the back. We're just going to line that up with the back of the actual cabinet. We have 1-inch L brackets, corner braces they're sometimes called, that we got at Walmart for $1.97 for 4. We're only going to use 2 for this project, so that's another $1. Between that and the 2 boards being $12.97 and the trim board being $1, this is really an under $15 countertop, which you really can't beat anywhere else. And we're going to screw the bottom screw into the solid part of the cabinet, and the top screw is going to be screwed into the underside of the good board. And what we're going to do is the L bracket is going to hold the bottom shelf from going backwards, and the trim is going to hold the bottom shelf from going forwards. Okay?
Together.
I'm not in the seam right here. Like, is that screw going to be right in that seam?
I need 2 things.
Glasses and light.
Yes, ma'am.
Where'd you put your glasses?
I put them over by my computer because I thought I was done with glass.
Well, I don't care then. You're using those.
Yep.
And I don't have light. Where's your phone?
I'll go over by the couch.
You're a piece of work, Henson. You're a piece of work.
Oh, that's actually better. You know, oh, okay, there's a screw right there. We don't want it in the screw itself.
No, but I can't see, so
I know.
I'm going back.
Give me. Do I want it there? Do I want it? Okay, I want it right there because it's on the other side of the screw, but still in the boards. And yeah, I think I'd rather have it in the cabinet first. But I have to make sure I align it just right, otherwise it's not going to be...
So we were so busy right now concentrating on the installation of the bottom shelf and holding the bottom shelf in. Jim had a lot of concerns about the bottom shelf falling out, and that's why I made a mention to you of what was going to be holding it in a second ago. So at this point, we're screwing into the bottom of the top shelf, but he is so concerned about me holding the shelf down that I never made sure that the shelf was lined up in the front. So if you do come into this very situation, you always want to double check all your alignments before you make anything permanent. Now, it's only off by a hair's fraction. You'll see it in tomorrow's video, but it's enough. You'll see me discover it in a minute when I go around to the other side. But I think that happened, and so that I'm telling you this so that you can avoid if this happens to you. But you'll see, it's not a huge deal. But I think what happened was as he was screwing in the top, because it's like that slick sort of Formica painted on surface. I don't really know exactly what it is, the surface, but it's very slick, almost like Formica. I think when he slipped the screw, I think he ended up pushing the board. And I was so concerned about the board coming my way that I never even considered the board going in the other direction. But I tell you that just to help you. Again, I've told you this plenty of times. I make mistakes so you don't have to. But the reason that mistakes or happy accidents, as Bob Ross used to call them, is so we can learn. We would never learn anything if we didn't do anything wrong ever, right? Thomas Edison, right? National treasure, right? Thomas Edison didn't fail 2,000 times. He learned 2,000 ways not to make a light bulb. That's what this is like, okay? So wait.
guess it has to be, it just has to be overhung in the front. That's all. We'll have to deal with it. Because if I straighten it in the front, the side's not going to line up.
Did it move it?
It did.
Son of a-
Are you in?
Yeah, I'm in. I'm done.
It's okay. Let's hit it with some sandpaper.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to put that up there because I don't want to scratch this up.
Sanding block? Or just sandpaper?
Um,
What'd you bring? Just
I
sandpaper?
just sandpaper.
Okay.
I can get up on my own. Thank you.
I know
Thank
you
you.
can, but why would you need to?
Well, I didn't want to be close to this when I tried to get up. So.
I could this time.
Wait. There goes my knees.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm getting old. Oh, crud. Sure did.
So that's it for today's installment. Oh, no pun intended. So join us tomorrow when we're going to add the trim. I'm going to show you a way to do it to not split the particle board and then fill in and finish the countertop. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Any questions at all, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to join us for the rest of the series. And as always, you guys take care. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Bye.